Okay.
And then we'll go from
I'm Zach Featherstone. I'm president and owner of Beachfly Brewing Company. We're in Rockledge, Florida. We just opened our doors after a year and a half build out in April, so we're about 4 months old.
there. So we're here at the Florida Brewers Guild conference, and I met Zach actually through your mom
Correct.
when the City of Rockledge was our client, and we were working on redevelopment, revitalization, and helping them, towards creating a downtown and some different things in the redevelopment area. And your mom showed up to one of our kickoff sessions,
Yes.
one of our public input sessions, and I think just that day our team had been talking about, we've got a couple of spots that might be perfect for a brewery. The city had purchased a piece of property, and so everything just kind of worked out, and you were able to buy that piece from the city. So just tell us a little bit about, sort of from your perspective, once you saw the opportunity there, and kind of your thoughts, and things that even other cities can learn from that sort of process.
This was back in 2019. Our lease was going to be up at our current location 2020. We were at an event with and some Rockledge city officials were there, and they asked if we knew any breweries that were up and coming or looking for a place, and we said, well, we're existing, but we are looking for a new location. So after that happened, they put us in touch with BusinessFlare, and they kind of told us the plan that they're proposing to the City of Rockledge of redeveloping the downtown Barton area. We really liked the plan, and then we met with the city multiple times. There's 4 different properties that were the city owned that we're looking to sell to us. One of them really stood out to us. It was one that was right across the street from what they are calling their city hub. It's a new park they just built with an amphitheater. It also had some land that was undeveloped. So that kind of, brewery we want to be able to grow and add more tanks, add beer gardens, add all that stuff. So that really, really jumped out to us. So after that, we, worked with the city, very hands-on. We met with the city, I think, every week for about 4 months, just kind of talking about our plans, what the city wants, is what the city desires, and how our plan fits in with that. And then, took about a year and a half to build out, a little more than we anticipated, but that was also in the middle of COVID stuff, so that delayed everything. We're real happy at the new location. The city still continues to work with us on a weekly or monthly basis on city developments. We're working with them on some events, hopefully here in the future. So the city really embraced us. I think the biggest thing for us was having the city input, working with the city. It's made all of our building inspections, all of our planning submittals, site permits, all that went much smoother because the city knew exactly what we wanted, and we knew exactly what the city wanted, and we're still working, future plans, at that versus our old location. I couldn't get a meeting with the city planner for the life of me. We looked at buying a multi-million-dollar property there, and they didn't have zoning for a brewery, so we asked just to meet with them, and they wouldn't even meet with us. They said we have to buy the property and then submit rezoning, and that's not the relationship, the partnership we were looking to have. So really good just communication with both parties. I think that's key.
It's funny you say that. I was talking earlier to a gentleman that does financing for new breweries and expansions, and we were talking about cities, and he was talking about how important it is, and that one of the things that sort of makes or breaks, and it's important when they're even looking at their financing, is does the city either have skin in the game, or are they participatory? And I was talking with someone else, and you're right. It's interesting because I told them, I said, sometimes this can come down to the attitude of the planning director in the city, and that can determine, obviously, whether or not a business wants to open there.
And we actually went through multiple city planners. But we had the same mayor, same city manager,
right.
And those were the ones really driving it forward. So they basically, I guess, told the city planner and the head of the building department we had changeover, and it was actually a very smooth changeover. And they came on knowing that we were in the middle of this, and they're even more, the second and third person were even more helpful than the first person because they, had all the background information versus coming into it.
That's cool. So, and you mentioned the Civic Hub that they had built that's across the street from where you are next to City Hall as an event space. There's some apartments that went in down the street. So tell me a little bit, what are those sort of key things that were happening there that where you saw the potential of having a brewery in Rockledge?
Yeah, so we are in a CRA, I think that's what it's called, Community Redevelopment Area, and so that was a big thing because we knew that the city was putting in effort to, grow the area there. The road we were on, there wasn't much going on. It was a bunch of rundown strip malls. But when we started our talks, they were already in planning and I think beginning construction on some high-rise apartments that we that got built and finished a few months before we opened. So that was really nice to have just new people to the city. It was a lot of young people, so we knew that would be helpful, just from a client base, customer base. And then the city had a bunch of, they didn't own the strip malls, but they were really working with the owners of the strip malls to get some new businesses in there. So we just got a new boutique grocery store got in, a couple new pizza places, and they're across the street from us is a Domino's, and on the other side of us is a Burger King, which those are nice, but that's not going to bring in, walking traffic or traffic that's going to hang out in the city. So the city has been really reaching out to, more local, small business, mom and pop places that are going to bring people in to check the area out versus just drive-through fast food stuff. I know there's another family-friendly sports bar with a pool hall coming in down there soon, and there's a few other, things in development right now. And another big thing that the city has talked about. Currently, it's a two-lane each way. I don't know if that's 4-lane or 2-lane. Technically 4-lane, but they keep talking about and working on condensing it down to 1 lane each way or 2 lanes with street parking, which I think that encourages people to stay on the street versus just driving through and looking for parking lots or just cutting through the city right now. So that's kind of an exciting project. We know for us the construction that's going to be difficult because it'll reduce traffic, but I think the end result will be worth it.
It will, and that 2-laning, taking Barton down to the 2 lanes, I think is one of the first things that we thought of when we first worked there. That to really make that downtown that Rockledge wants, and that we heard from the community and from the city, that's one of the key placemaking things. It'll make it that much, and it'll help you sort of. The relationship between you and the Civic Hub and that event space.
It makes crossing the street much easier. Another thing right now that we're working with the city is they have this park and this lake, and it's kind of it's a block off the main road.
Right.
Nobody knows it's there.
Yep.
The city's redoing a path around it currently, and then we are actually doing a weekly run club. And so we've been, putting anywhere from during the regular weeks, 10 to 20 people, letting them know about that park. We had a big run with the Running Zone in the newspaper a few weeks ago. We had about 100 people do that run. And so it's letting people know what's going on there. Seen a lot of breweries do run clubs. We've been told we have one of the best ones because it's not on a heavy trafficked road.
Right.
It's actually, there's no traffic, so they're not worried about getting hit by a car when they run and then go have their beer.
Yeah, and that lake is about almost 4.5 miles, I think, in its perimeter.
It's actually a 3K from the brewery around the lake and back.
Okay.
Or, no, 5K. So
5K.
3 miles.
Okay.
Around it.
Because one of our stickers out there. One of the things we look for in cities is what do you have that no one knows you have, but if people knew it was there, it could make a big difference. And the lake was that thing that needed to be exposed that we found. So and I saw your post on the Run Club.
Yep.
Not too long ago. So, that's awesome. And anything you can do to expose that. How have you found sort of what's the craft scene like in Brevard, and how do you think it's kind of evolved or changed even as you're in a much more prominent location? You're much more visible, I think, than you were in your old location.
So the Brevard craft scene is steadily growing. I only moved to Brevard in 2017, so 5 years ago. I started looking at Brevard as a possible location for my brewery in 2015. And back then there was 3, maybe 4 breweries. We're up to 10 or 12 now. I know at least 3 or 4 more in planning. So it's continually growing. And I think the brewers are here before because they helped educate the community about what craft beer can be. But it's an ongoing struggle on trying to get what different beer styles are, trying to get historical styles. We're going to start trying to maybe do some Brett sours, which there's not a lot of those in the area. People are used to the sweeter sours, so it's always trying to teach the community about brewing and craft beer. And Brevard's a little further behind the rest of the state of Florida, but they're catching up quickly. So
that
that's
just means
kind of
opportunity.
Cool. Yep. So we're really excited. We have people coming in every day asking, what's like a domestic, what's like a Bud Light, what's like a Corona. They have our beer. They have, they love it. We send them to a few of the other breweries. They like the beer there. They come back and like, oh, now I'm a craft beer fan. So it's just a growing market right now for us. And I think, still a lot more growth available.
Do you get more compared to where you were in Indian Harbor Beach?
Yes.
Compared to where you are now, or do you get a lot more, say, new customers, people discovering you compared to there, or is it similar?
I would say we get more craft brewing, new to craft brewing at our current location. Our old location was down the street from one of the bigger breweries in the area. We're literally on the same road, just 2 miles apart. So we would, and you actually have to drive by that brewery to get to our brewery because we were on the beach side on the island.
Right.
So usually when people were coming to our old brewery, they knew a little more about craft beer. Now we feel we're getting a lot more first-time craft brew people, or people who are just new to the area or new to the craft brew, but they, we're in Rockledge, so the Rockledge people are starting to come out more and wanting to support us. And
cool. Well, I've not been up there since you opened. I've not made my way back to this, but we. Farrell and I, Farrell.
Yes.
We're talking about it not too long ago that we need to get up there and check it out.
Well, perfect.
Well, are you doing any live music?
We're not doing any live music currently. We're working to build an outdoor space, and once we do that, then we would like to have some outdoor live music. Indoors, it can just kind of be a little cumbersome for the people who didn't come to listen to it.
No, of course.
Of course. So right now, not live music, but hopefully in the future.
Cool. Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing you in the brewery.
Thank you very much.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Zach.